Tasha Frazier Show is brought to you by...
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Tasha Frazier Show. I always like to say Tasha on Tuesdays. I don't know why. It just all works together. I was telling the ladies in the virtual green room that I am like in Clark Kent mode right now, okay, with the glasses. So what this means is that I don't have my lashes on and I did not do my eyeshadow, but my microbladed eyebrows are on point, okay? So, hey, as a beauty queen, of course, we always have to look amazing, but I can even look amazing in glasses. I just need all of you guys to appreciate that and understand it. But anyway, I'm super excited. As you guys know, we are in the 4th episode of my Mrs. Globe Countdown 2022. I wanted to spend these last 6 weeks just highlighting the queens that had the time to hang out with me and just kind of give them a little bit more of a platform and opportunity to talk about themselves. So Mrs. Globe is very unique. And I love this actually because I've done multiple pageants. And have you guys ever seen a winner and you're like, how did she win? And then like we all assume, okay, it must have been an interview, which is the part that nobody saw, right? So what I love about Mrs. Globe is that every area competition is on the stage in front of everybody. But what that means though is that you don't get like the interview opportunity. So I wanted to provide that to the different delegates if they had time in their illustrious schedules as beauty queens to come on the show and share about themselves and like actually have that one-on-one time with you guys and be able to cherish it. All right, you guys, so I'm not going to sit here and talk too much because you guys, you kind of maybe came on to see me, but probably not. I'm just going to throw it out there. We have some really amazing queens that are joining me today. So the first person I'm going to bring, the first queen delegate. Let me get myself together here, okay? Not only is her hair my favorite color, which I feel like is just in and of itself, she should win. I'm just kidding. Okay. But she is from the state of Colorado. And I feel like, I feel like I'm announcing like a heavyweight champion, like the heavyweight champion, Colorado. Okay. All right. I may or may not have been a stand-up comedian, but I decided to do something else with my life. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and add her here. If I get all my little stuff going here. And she is Jessica Mason, hailing from the state of Colorado. How are you?
In this corner, Colorado. I like it announced that way.
I love it. You're adorable.
Thank you.
Like with this big sweater, like that's what I think of when I think of Colorado. I think of like snow.
Yes.
I think of like Winter Wonderland.
Yeah, we have all of the seasons in spades.
I love it. I love it. So you're doing okay or everything? How you feeling? This isn't like one of the questions, but since there's only 2 of you, I may or may not throw a couple little curveballs in there. But like, how are you feeling? It's like what, like 2 weeks away? You're going to be in the beautiful Palm Springs where you will not want to wear that sweater at.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
Well, I don't know how much you know my backstory, but I'm a chronic pain sufferer. I have a nerve disorder called trigeminal neuralgia. It's called the suicide nerve because the pain is intense. So I have been having a real rough go of it with this pain journey. So pageant prep looks really different for me this time around. I've been competing for over 2 decades, and it has always been putting together a program to present on stage, putting forth this idealized best version of myself.
Right.
And this time around, getting there and getting on the stage is the best version of myself. So it's much more of a head game. But because, as you mentioned, that, this pageant is itself a fundraiser for a nonprofit that helps women rebuilding their lives, the fact that this is such an internal journey for me this time around, I'm just so glad that I found Globe as my home to be going through this process with sisters like you who just get it.
I love that. It's it's interesting because I myself was kind of going not through a physical journey such as yourself, but just my own mental health journey. And I feel like pageantry has always kind of been, every competition I've done and even have won has had some kind of significance to it. I was going through something and it was like, whether it was, I remember one title I won, I was actually homeless, fleeing a domestic violence relationship. I had another competition right after my father passed away suddenly. Like there was always kind of a reason. And so with Mrs. Globe, it was like celebrating what I call the crescendo of my healing journey, which is, you know, I never say it's over, right? A crescendo is just the high point of the song. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what system could I do that I feel that I could showcase this healed, better, stronger version of Tasha that's in alignment with their mission, you know? Mm-hmm. And so when it was brought to me, I was kind of like, I don't know, you know? And then when I found out about the, I guess the charity side, mm-hmm. you know, I was like, ooh, I wanted to do the program, actually. Like, I was more excited about the program, being involved in the program, and then kind of the pageant was like, okay, I guess I'll do that too, kind of a thing. And so I totally feel you on that. Well, we're going to get, now I'm just going to say this, I'm kind of like super like informal, but I think something's going weird with my streaming because I've been checking it and I'm like, I don't see like viewers, I'm not getting comments. So I hope this is not like a technical difficulty. I really hope. I kind of checked a couple platforms. I see that we're on Facebook and I see that we're on YouTube. I don't know what's happening. Okay. All right. Well, everybody, you can still watch the playback if there is something weird happening, or maybe it's just not showing on my end because usually we have a lot of people commenting that you can see and everything like that. So I don't know what's going on. All right. But moving right along, we're going to get to your first question. And I like to tell everybody, you know, I love answering questions off the cuff, Jessica. Like, I'm like, challenge me, bring it on. But I wanted to be nice because everyone's like, what are you going to be asking me? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm even going to give you a cheat sheet. Like, it's going to rotate at the bottom the whole time. So you're going to know exactly what we're talking about. But we would like to know, you know, you kind of shared it a little bit, but like, why did you, I guess, specifically choose Globe as the competition to, I guess, showcase yourself in this season of life?
You know, it's what you said actually really resonated with me, that when I look back at my competition history, the times that I've competed, I was using the competition to move myself forward, or I was celebrating having moved forward. And depression and chronic pain go hand in hand. The rate of depression in people with chronic conditions is 100%. It is just a factor of it. And so dealing with the most severe depression of my life and struggling so much to find help. You know, both of my parents are psychologists. I have insurance. I mean, I had every possible advantage and I could not get help when I needed it. And pageantry for me has always been this almost safety net, that if I'm losing myself, I go to this, because when you compete, you have to be an expert in yourself and you have to get right with, you know, what you want, what you want to accomplish, who you are. And that was part of my sober journey. And so I started looking for a pageant that would, you know, take a blue-haired beauty queen, but one that supported things that were important to me. And finding the Globe pageant, it's like when the universe bends and puts the exact right people or the right situation in front of you at not only the time that you need it, but the time you are what it needs. And finding Globe and the Reclaiming Me classes, it came around at the darkest time of my life. I'm a suicide survivor, and I was in complete darkness. The daily pain really got hard to manage, not just with the level of it, but with the interminable length of it. And so finding something that had, you know, its own self-imposed timeline and goals, and giving me the opportunity to make a difference and use my pain for a purpose, has gotten me not just through the hard times. You know, you don't just want to survive, you want to thrive. And it's connected me back not only to my community, but also to myself. And being able to represent these classes that have done so much for me and raise money to provide these classes for women who need them most, it has done nothing short of save my life.
Wow. Ooh, girl, you gave me goosebumps. No, but that's so powerful. And I think that understanding that this system essentially was created to fund that aspect of things, right? I mean, it's still a pageant and it's still a competition and you still need to bring your A game, right? And that's just not that's a non-negotiable. At the same time, that everything you're doing, all the money you're raising, all the, tickets you're selling, whatever it is allowing women. And I shared this even on the last show, that when I first became knowledgeable of the program, I wasn't in a financial position to even pay for the classes. So because of the queens on the other side, or as sometimes people affectionately call Mrs. Globe, the pretty sister of the Win Foundation, and because of that, I was able to go through these classes and continue my healing. And then the role kind of flipped, and I was able to sponsor other women through the program and stuff like that. So it really is making a huge impact, and it's powerful when people that are on the pretty sister side get to benefit from the other side of it, and it's just very powerful. And it's kind of funny because I like to always say I don't know if I'm the only one, but I think I'm one of the very few world winners that actually graduated one of the programs, which is pretty cool. So having graduated from Reclaiming Me was very powerful, and I was very proud of that. To be on the giving side, to be on the receiving side, and to even be a graduate. So I think that is amazing. All right. So
I didn't realize there was a program from which you could graduate. So, life goals.
Reclaiming Me is like a 1-year actual program.
Sure.
And so once you've gone through all of the classes and, done all the stuff, we're starting to get comments now. Okay, good. I'm not like crazy. Okay, here we go. All right. Maybe people just joined at the last second. I was like, why are there no comments? Okay. I thought we're having technical difficulties, you guys. But yeah, there's an actual program, 1-year program. And there's other programs as well that have to do with aging beautifully and just other things as well for women that are in different walks of life, not just narcissistic abuse, So I look forward to participating in those as well, because we all age and we all go through different things in our life. So anyway, it was really cool. I think I was the first virtual graduation, which was super fun, like the music and the whole thing. It was really cool. And I had friends and family come, and it was really cool. So
I just got the year membership, so I will be going through the whole thing.
Very cool. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So your next question is, if you could speak to the judges directly, which you won't be able to do until at the end, because there's not like a one-on-one time like that in Globe, which still I think is super awesome, because I don't know, I just like when I win something that makes sense to everybody. I don't want people to be like, do we not see something? Anyway, I think it's cool that there's not Andrew. But anyway, so this is your opportunity. Judges in a room with Jessica, beauty queen with the blue hair. And what would you say to them? What would you want them to know?
Judging a pageant is hard, and the higher the level, the more incredible the women competing. And I've been on both sides of it. And the truth is, with an organization as great as Win and Globe, they really can't go wrong with who they pick. So should it be me, I believe in what we're doing here. I have my own personal story to back it up. I'm an incredibly hard worker who is just killing myself for this program. And so if the judges only know one thing about me, I want it to be that I am a true ambassador for the program, that, having a group of strangers think that you did the best job on one night is lovely. But this is a job, and it's a responsibility, and it's frankly a lifelong commitment to living life this way. So it's not just about how I show up that 1 week in Palm Springs. It is about the breadth of my work and my commitment to the mission of these organizations. So that's what I want them to know is how much more there is than what's in front of them.
I love that. And, I will say this, I'm going to be the devil's advocate. It kind of is how you show up for 1 week, because, right, you have like that short period of time to show them all the things you just said.
Absolutely.
And I think there is a way to do that. I have a feeling that you probably have that. I feel like you kind of got that, you got that down. And I think I love what you said, but it's also being able to emanate those characteristics in that period of time, right? Whether, and when I coach, because I do actually do pageant coaching, I talk about, the connection, I'm sorry, I say connection is queen, right? You know, and that's a big deal. I said, look, like you have to be able to connect with these people, whether it's non-verbally or whatever the case may be. I mean, my job is by the time I'm done competing, those judges are like, oh my gosh, girl, I wanted to go and, you know, take a shot with you. Like I was wanting to hang out with you. Oh my gosh. Like I was so inspired. Like that's what you want. And I think that because you do have all those different components, you know, there is a way to strategize weaving that into that short period of time, you know, that you have to do your personality profile. I mean, I can't wait to hear, I don't know what yours is going to be. I can't wait to hear, you know, where you get to just blow us away like, oh my gosh, like, you know, and when you get to just even how you move on the stage, people can see the power in a person or not the power in a person.
It really is the tip of the iceberg. That there's so much more. And that's why if it was my chance to connect with the judges outside of competition, I would want to speak to all the stuff below the surface, all the stuff that really goes into being the right person for the job. That, you know, every moment that we have at competition is our chance to highlight what there is beyond competition. And especially when you get to this level and, you know, this point that we are in our careers, that the experience and the resumes just pale to what we truly have to offer. And that's so big and so important that, yeah, you're right. I want to use every moment of my time to convey how important it is, how prepared I am, and what a good fit I would be. Moment to moment. That's all we got.
I love it. And I'm going to take this as a moment to kind of put my coaching hat on and let everyone who knows, and anyone who's coached with me knows this, you know, that begins the moment you say yes to the opportunity. You know,
absolutely.
Especially with, you know, obviously the increase of social media and all these other things, like the judges are judging you before you even know who the judges are. Absolutely. And, you know, and it's like the time is now, or the time whenever you sent in your submission to Laura or Tia or whoever it was, you were literally beginning your interview per se, you know, and I showed them what I was going to do with their brand, like from the moment I started, when I was Washington, when I wasn't, you know, before I was Mrs. Curvey Globe, during a pandemic, I was making all kinds of virtual appearances and being visible and sharing a message, and I still do it now, you know. So I think it's important that sometimes people, they think like, okay, it's like the little kids that close their eyes and think that you can't see them anymore. I remember my dad used to do that, and I was talking to people, just like, I'm like, I see you, like, okay. But that's kind of what it's like sometimes with people preparing for pageants. It's like they think for some reason you can't see them until they actually walk onto the stage, and you're like, no.
Right.
So,
right.
You know, even now, and that, you know, one thing you're going to love about the Globe Awards is they really highlight everything that people have been doing, like leading up, you know, and you're recognized for things that are not necessarily judged things for the competition. And so those things matter. Anyway, we're talking a little bit more than usual because there's only two of you, and I think that you're great. Okay.
I've considered things like this. I refer to as a part-time job but full-time responsibility, that when you step up and put your name to an organization and their name on you, everything that you do it is in support of them, or it's not, whether you're intending it to or not. And so you're right. It's not even just the time that you sign up for a pageant or something, but you find an organization that fits with who you are and what you believe, so that it's not just that week of competition or the time that you have that title, that it's who you are as a person and what you're doing in your community and your life that is in support of that role.
Absolutely. And I think for an organization, you know, the organization side, which is the Win Foundation, the company side, which is Mrs. Globe, they need to be able to trust you with their brand. Ultimately, I mean, you know, that's just kind of how it is. You know, it's right. Like, okay, you know, are you emanating when you say I'm an ambassador for the Win Foundation? Well, what does that even mean to you? Right? Mm-hmm. Like, what does that actually mean to you? What do you think that is? You understand what it is, you know, things like that. So I love that you kind of embodied that. And I think every woman I've had the privilege of talking to has an unusual understanding of that, you know, which I think is super great and very cool. All right. So your final question is, what's your plan? And I already know you're probably about to pull out if you have a, what do you call that? What's that?
Business plan?
Yeah, you got a business plan or
Yeah.
you have like a PowerPoint presentation. I'm sorry, my software cannot incorporate that into this. You're going to just have to verbally tell us how you're going to take over the world. Okay.
Yeah. What are we going today, Pinky?
Exactly.
Yes, I lay things out so that I can make the most of my time. The time with a title is so preciously short that without a plan, without goals, without action steps, it's just wasted time. So I have three areas that are really important to me. Promoting the Reclaiming Me classes and the WIN Foundation is so near and dear to my heart. That bringing awareness, not just to narcissistic abuse, but bringing awareness to healing in a way that is so much more, esoteric than the physical healing from abusive and emotionally traumatic relationships. But then also the part of that little three-leaf holy trinity is the mental health component of it. That's stepping forward as a mental health care reform advocate. That there is such a gap in our mental health care, and so putting together a bill to bring forward before local politicians to regulate having emergency psychiatric care in ER rooms, the kind of training that should be mandated for police officers and first responders, trying to change who responds to mental health emergencies, getting in front of future psychologists and doctoral programs, talking to them about how to handle these situations, and having this fancy hat and hopefully as a national title, it just gets you a seat at that table.
Right.
I've been working in the bullying prevention arena for many years, wrote a book on it, trying to switch the language from anti-bullying. It's called Pity the Bully, and it uses the stigma attached to pit bulls to talk about, bullying behavior, how kids can identify it in themselves, and how to get to the root of the problem and actually address that. Because in the anti-bullying movement, what we're doing is demonizing and stigmatizing kids that just pigeonholes them and perpetuates the behavior. So working with the Reclaiming Me classes and ending the stigma of mental health issues and mental health care, and trying to change the language of anti-bullying classes to bullying prevention fits into my compassion over reaction format, which is about creating empathy, creating that compassion for ourselves and for others. And it's things that I'm already doing, things that I have been doing for years, but I'm well aware of the power of the crown, the audience that it gets you, the way that people listen to your words, the credibility it gets you. It goes after your name like a degree, and it gets you in the room, it gets you at the table, and it gets the little kids with stars in their eyes listening to the things that you're saying, and it has such a stronger impact than what I can do on my own as a civilian. So it's the rocket fuel to what I'm already doing. But if you're not pointed in the right direction, rocket fuel on roller skates ain't going to get you anywhere. So it is all about being pointed in the right direction, and then getting the steam behind you to get there.
I love it. I absolutely love it, and I think that based on what you're saying, that definitely falls in alignment with the mission and the direction of and even if it's creating space for programs such as like Reclaiming Me and things like that. I mean, I also authored a book, but it's more of like my goal with it was to give people the courage to start their journey to healing and connect them to the professionals, like Dr. or whoever, because I'm not a therapist. I'm not going to tell you how to do anything, but I will, I do hope to inspire people to give them the courage to start their own journey, whatever that looks like for them. And so, it's kind of cool when you have a position or you have a crown or whatever. It's like it makes whatever you're doing kind of cooler. Okay, this person or that person, or she's Miss Colorado, and she goes to therapy. Oh my gosh, like I want to do that too. And I've been very open about it. Like listen, I will check in. I am at Greater Lakes Mental Health today for my hour session. Do not call me, don't text me. I've been very open about my journey, and I think that just kind of what do they call it? Normalizing.
Yes.
That. I mean, I think there should be like we were talking about legislation and stuff like that, like having mental health breaks. And I mean, I remember the fight I had to go through 4 years ago when I was wanting to use my short-term disability for my mental health. And it was like this kind of thing. And I'm like, look, there is a clause in there. I know it's tiny. I know you guys are just used to physical injuries, but mental and emotional injuries are actually far more debilitating, and their effects are way more, they last a lot longer in reverberation than a physical injury. So I get my 6 months of disability and I'm leaving. Okay, goodbye. You know, and so I was able, you know, but I was able to show other people like, hey, this is, if you're paying for that, this is in there. You know, that's included. That's included. And so just bringing more awareness to that. So I really applaud you in not just kind of wanting to be the, you know, the broad stroke of, oh, you know, love yourself. You know, you're like, okay, so here's the practical stuff that we need to do.
Yes.
And I can totally respect that. And I know that Dr. Tracy, that's her thing, is like, you know, about practically getting in the trenches with people and walking them through how to heal themselves, but also give themselves the tools, right, to do what they need to do. I mean, I use my tools on everybody. Like literally, they're like, Tasha, why are you so? I'm like, hey, gray rocking you, buddy. Yeah. You know, like, what is that? You know, or whatever the case may be. And I just feel, you know, so much more powerful. But if there are any, let me get to some of the comments, because I think people are just like super thrilled about you. Oh my God. Can you see the mess? Can you see the little things? Oh, you're on your, must be on your phone or something.
Yeah, I can see them.
Okay. Oh, everyone thinks you're amazing.
Thank you, Crystal.
Yes. There was a girl, she competed, I think, for Europe title. Dr. Tracy, don't kill me if I'm wrong. And she had beautiful, gorgeous, like pink hair, like just very
that's
well
her.
done.
I've seen the pictures.
Very well done too. Like, and I'm so big. Like I used to be a
Yes.
salon manager, so like I totally know like ooh, balayage. I know all the little words.
Yeah.
And so yes, it was beautiful. But is there any last words you want to share? Again, I know you get a little extra moments because there's only 2 of you, and I'm going to be bringing on our beautiful Curvey Australia here in like 30 seconds. She's so pretty. Everyone's
well, you know, I think the perception of, well, there's obviously a lot of perception of beauty pageants, but it's that it is us pitted against each other. And in some systems that may be true, but I think that if I had one thing that I really wanted to convey at the end of this, and it's not towards the judges, but it's towards the other women, that I have never been so supported and so, choking up. I have never been so welcomed and genuinely loved by strangers as I have by this group. It was a scary thing to sign up to compete when I was in such a bad place. And I have been so grateful for this program, for the Reclaiming Me program, every step of the way. And I can't wait to meet everybody in person, but it really is true. To the judges, you can't get this wrong. You really can't. This is a group of women who believe in this, who are working hard for this. This is a true sisterhood. And I have never been so proud to be part of an organization as I have with this. I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Oh, everyone loves you.
It's because I love them so much.
Well, I'm just going to just make you aware that you will be crying often during pageant week. A good way.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at, my video from when I was competing a couple years ago, and there's like all this clips of me crying. I'm just like, oh my God. You know, I mean, Dr. Tracy, I couldn't even go within 5 feet of her, and I'm like, just stay away, lady. Like, for real, like I need to focus. Like, I don't know what it is about you or what it is about the team. I mean, the alumni that come, and it's just like, okay, I can't do it. There's too much love here. I don't like it. You know? So you come from a hateful world. You come from a hateful world to a whole week of glamour and love, and like, you know, yes, it's a competition, and you know, some people will walk away with the titles and some people won't, and you know, we're women, we're gonna feel how we feel. But overall, like, you're just like, I am amazing this whole time, and then you're crying, and then you're amazing again, and then you're crying again. And so, I mean, if you're going to boot camp, I'm just gonna say, are you going to boot camp?
I'm not able to, no.
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say boot camp is, for those of you guys who are going to boot camp, go to boot camp. It's not what you think it is.
I know, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, as a pageant veteran, at first I was like, I don't need to go to my camp. Like, you know, I'm a coach, I'm a 3-time beauty queen, you know, whatever. I'm so glad I went. It was not even what I expected at all. And of course, you're crying again, and you're just learning and growing and all that kind of stuff. So Anyway, I really appreciate you coming on with me and chatting with me and just sharing who you are with everyone who watched it live tonight and who will be watching it in the future. I'm excited to meet you face to face. I'm easily going to be able to find you. You're going to find me because I'm like the tall, black, big-haired beauty queen, and then you're like the blue one, and it'll just be great. So I'm super excited to meet you face to face and just feel your energy. And, you know, good luck as you continue to prepare. Do not bring that sweater dress. You will melt.
No,
And
sundresses only. Can't wait.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for your time. And if you can hang back in the green room, I'd love it. If not, I know you have a million things on your plate, and I appreciate you making time for me tonight.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Yes, thank you. I will see you in Palm Springs.
All right, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wasn't she cute, you guys? Oh my God, she's so cute. Okay, super adorable, but you guys already know, I mean, I'm Mrs. Curvey Globe 2020, so obviously I'm way more biased when it comes to my curvy ladies. And this woman, okay, you guys, she, talk about standing the test of time. I think that she's been on the roster to compete for like 3 years between pandemics and like borders being closed and all kinds of stuff. This woman, bless her heart, she has just stayed the course, and now she finally is going to be competing for the title of the world title of Mrs. Curvey Globe, and she is Curvey Australia, Sarita Menon.
Yes, Menon.
Okay, so
you're getting there, close enough.
Well, thank you. I mean, she had to correct. I put the spelling up in the green room, and she's like, "No, I need you to fix it." I'm like, "Yes, queen." So now it is correct. You have a very beautiful exotic name to go with a beautiful exotic woman, and it's just so cool to talk to you. I mean, I feel like we've been like virtual friends for like
exactly. Maskless days from the pre-pandemic days. It's been a journey. I mean, I'm connected with Tasha right from her Haskins to her Frazier.
Okay.
I find, you have got a fan in me. Trust me, Tasha. You've got
oh my gosh.
You have been so inspirational ever since. And you kind of lead me in a way, I literally stalk you. I stalk you.
Well, I mean, I enjoy, I mean, you're so good at like your content, and you incorporate your family, and you're fashionable, and you're creative, and the fact that you didn't, give up. I mean, I know like it was like the first year, and then it was like the last year, and then it was like this year, and to find out that you're finally really coming, I mean, that's just so powerful. And I know that really, really blesses the Globe family when people are staying the course. I mean, you could have competed in a different pageant, or you could have done something else, but you were so committed to this brand and what it's about. And that means a lot to me. Plus, of course, you're curvy and you're exotic. And I want, I know that Dr. Tracy even and Alicia, my predecessor, and we really want the brand to be seen as diverse as it really is. That women literally all around the globe with curves are fabulous and gorgeous and not, and they know how to dress and how to look and how to engage people. And so just seeing girl, I cannot wait to see what you do. And
likewise, the sentiments are same. And trust me, it was not an easy journey. Somewhere the threshold of tolerance and patience was kind of, it was very overwhelming, but somehow I think the family and the supporters and the love and respect you garner when you are an influencer, when you stand for body positivity, kept me going. And finally, the day has come, and I'm just counting days, because there were moments when Laura, Dr. Tracy, they have messaged me and they've asked me that you still would like to go ahead with the pageant. You're sure? Because even they were just being too nice and being practical. Because from their angle, I wouldn't. Definitely they had that question in mind. This girl, ever since I think 2019, I would say, I've been associated with them even before you. Yes. Yeah, and prepping up, and I had almost shopped for all the different rounds for the first 2019, and there was a big family, trip that we were planning, and the my entire family was planning to come with me, and it was all, yeah, we had
Oh
almost.
my gosh, it's amazing.
It was, and trust me, it was heart wrenching to know that I couldn't. If last minute I tried, if
Yeah,
I
you
could
did.
get there, but it was a very tricky situation then. So,
Well, you're here, and this is, I mean, I'm, like I said, wow. And I know that the Mrs. Globe team is so grateful that you stayed the course. I mean, gosh, you're like super gorgeous, and I'm super excited to meet like a, I've met like American Australian people, but not like Australian people. You know, I'm African American, but I'm not like,
I'm
from,
Indian Australian, by the way.
that's amazing. Gorgeous. I mean, I don't know. I just am like, oh my gosh, she's so amazing. So I'm very, very excited to meet you and to see you represent, both, I guess, the Indian as well as the Australian, blend of the curvy women. And I love that. All right. So we're going to get into your first question. And I
Yes.
mean, the fact that, again, you persevered for 3 years, I think we all want to know, like, why did you choose this system? You could, I mean, you've been a queen for other systems, you're a model, you've done all these other things. Like, why Globe?
Globe, of course, it speaks for itself. The banner, it speaks volumes. So it's one of the most prestigious banner that I've been always, aiming to be associated with. But of course, there were some stereotypical body standards that many of the pageants follow, and unfortunately or fortunately, I wouldn't fall under that banner. So this was so nice. Of I was associated with Mrs. South Asia. I won the title, and then the director of Mrs. South Asia is the one who suggested me about the Mrs. Globe banner, and I was a bit skeptical, because I wasn't sure
Right.
whether my kind of body pattern would be accepted or not. And that was so nice of Dr. Tracy Campbell, because I got in touch with her, and she just said that we have come up with this new segment, wherein
Mhm.
yeah, you can prove your potential there, irrespective of your body pattern or your body type. And that was something that fascinated me. I was like, wow, now the times are changing, people are getting more receptive about curvy figure. Because back in my college days, I would love to be walking the ramp, and fashion shows, how the typical teenager
Mhm.
girls are, and I would go for auditions, and in a very glorified way, in a very dignified way, they will put it across. Sorry, darling, you are not
Right.
that. You're not that hourglass or baby Barbie doll figure. So sorry. What we are looking at is the washboard abs, and So I've gone through. I've always grown up
Mm.
having that inferiority complex in me, that I am not fit to be a fashionista. I don't have it in me. That is what I was always made to believe.
Yeah.
And to certain extent, till the time I was a mother of two, I think I was under that belief that just leave it. um, this All these platforms are not meant for you, darling, just because your
Mhm.
body constitution is that way. So you have to give it up on that. And somewhere it knocked me down to such an extent that it started affecting my self-esteem.
Mm.
Because, yes, because my inner heart was always meant to be, for dressing. I'm a very, very dressy person. You know it by now from past two
Yes, I love
years.
how you dress.
So so I think in my case that was something that affected me the most. Getting developing that aversion towards your own body, and that was not good. That was
Right.
literally kind of affecting me in any possible angle that I could think of. And I thought that I should bounce back, because if this is the way I'm going, I would lose. It's a lost cause. Then I wouldn't have a perfect purpose for which I am there. So somewhere all these kind of pageantries, the entire journey throughout has been so empowering for me. I have no words. It's given me a new life. Trust me, it's given me a cause to live, because I thought that whatever I desired, whatever I wanted in my teenage, in my college days, to my surprise, I'm living it now. Once, I
Right.
have stretch marks, I have those protruding bulges. I don't care. I have immense confidence in me. And
I know exactly how that is.
yes, things have changed for good, and it's been different for me. And people, like even my daughter, she's a teenager, and she tells me, Mom, look at you, all these things that you were craving for at your right age, maybe. But I tell her, no, that's not the right age. I
Mhm.
think for me this is the right age.
I love that. I mean, first of all, I love the way that you describe certain things. So you said body pattern. I'm going to start telling people that I have a different body pattern. Okay, people, like this is not a body type. I have a pattern, and all patterns are made differently and come in different fabrics. And I love that. I love how you said that. But that's why I wrote my book. Like it's never too late to choose you, right? I don't care. I'm 40 years old, and I feel like I'm 41 now, and I feel like I'm literally living the best I've ever lived because I'm actually living for me, and what I mean is of course God first, but I mean as far as not anybody else above Tasha for once in my entire life. Like everything I've ever done has been to get the approval of other people and acceptance of family or this or that. And so that's why now it's so easy for me. Like I think, that Dr. Tracy always says in her teachings, like that, no is a self-love word. Well, I used to think, oh my God, like don't say no. Now I say no very easily to people. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just not doing that. I'm not going to do that. And I think, and it's amazing that through this type of experience that we can actually get that type of power. So I'm proud of you. One, I'm so proud of you for choosing yourself, for being an example to your daughter that lets her know that like, hey, you can keep growing, keep shining, keep doing new things, right? And just keep coming back out. I mean, I know that sometimes they'll post like Mrs. Globes from like 2002 and they're still fabulous. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how I'm going to be. I want to be like 60 and they post a picture of me.
Exactly.
I'm like,
I'm
there's
really,
gray
and it's
hair.
completely defying in my case.
Exactly. I'm going to be fabulous. Big
It's
gray
real.
hair and like, Mrs. Globe 2020. Look at her now,
Oh yes, of course.
so
Oh,
I,
I love that zest in you, Sasha and Tasha. I just love that zest in you, because trust me, there are some people who might be 20 years younger than you, or maybe, but the kind of mentality and attitude they have towards life, it is terrible, and it's very
right.
kind of, yeah, it puts you down. I just love the way, I just love to live in the moment. I refuse to accept any kind of age barriers and taboo and stigma related to it. I believe in YOLO. You live only once, so just
Hey, okay. She said, I love that. It's true. I mean, it really is true. And that's something that I also appreciate about Mrs. Globe, because they not only recognize the people with different body patterns. I'm calling them patterns. Alicia, I hope you hear me. We're calling it the curve body pattern.
yeah.
But also the age, right? With the Classique division. And, there's some of these women who are 50 and older and they can put me to shame. Like, I'm like, their bodies are better. They're more
Oh my
vibrant.
God,
Like,
exactly.
oh my gosh. I'm like, okay.
And their exuberance, their confidence
Yes.
took it to a next level. And then what are we complaining about?
Exactly. I'm like, wait a minute. My life is, I mean, I would never, I'm going to be honest with you, with the exception of maybe a few things, I don't think I would ever want to be in my 20s again. And
No,
definitely
me
not in
too.
my 30s. Like, I'm
These
like,
are the worst days and worst phase of my life. I wouldn't even want to see my parents in here. They bought some old photos, and I'm like, please keep it at bay. I don't want to even look at those photos, because I feel I look much better.
yeah,
I'm much more confident. I'm much more popular, much more known for whatever I am today than, those days wherein I was just
Right.
dying of guilt and so much of complexes in me. So of course I'm far better off today. No doubt about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there was, like you said, there was a time where I would, look at someone who might be half my size or a different skin color. And I'm like, but now I'm like,
Oh yes.
I mean, okay. I mean, it's the cool part is I'm the only Tasha, I'm the only me that there is. And
There
I'm the
you
only
go.
one who's gonna be able to do it that good. And I don't want to be anybody else. There was a time where I did, but I don't want to be anybody else. I really don't. I mean, sometimes I don't like the circumstances I'm in, or if times are hard, or things like that. But
Mm.
I don't even want to be anyone else but myself. If I can't be on this planet as Tasha, then I don't want to be anybody else. And it took like 30 plus years for me to get to that headspace. And so it's exciting to celebrate. But let's get into the next question for you is if
Sure.
you could speak to the judges, have them by yourself in a room and just say, okay, look, judges, let me tell you about Miss YOLO over here. What would you say?
Right. Now, just one request I have for the judges. Please don't judge me on my looks. I don't wake up looking flawless every morning. I don't wake up feeling empowered. And I don't wake up feeling fearless. I have to actively choose to feel that way. So
Mm,
please judge me on the basis of my attitude and confidence, but not the appearance per se. That is a request I would love to make to my judges.
that's awesome. That's actually very brilliant. Okay. So to actually, hey, if I had a time with judges, I'm going to alter how you're going to judge me. I love that. you know but I think most of us, that's so relatable though, Sarita, because I know when I wake up, like if I ever had to wake up and do this show at 7 o'clock in the morning or something, oh my gosh, it would be horrible. I mean, there's just no, I know.
Oh, I you. Same case.
Oh my gosh, it would be horrible. I mean, I will say this, that my new husband, I love him so much, but he has really taught me to embrace my more natural self. So I have been doing less, things that veer more towards European beauty, because that's what's been taught, is that the European image of beauty is what's preferable, and that's not the case. So, I don't wear, usually unless I'm doing a show or at a pageant, I don't really even wear makeup that much anymore. I've been doing more natural looks and just embracing me naturally,
Exactly.
which is different for me. But to go back to what you were saying though, is you're like, hey, I don't, like Beyonce, we don't wake up like this,
Correct. I mean, there is a de-glam avatar of us also,
right?
and in spite of being de-glam, it is pretty glamorous. I mean, I might sound oxymoron, but then yes, that's how it is. So I think that's the way to look at it. I mean, you can't be always like a dressy doll. You have to be your natural self, isn't it? So
Absolutely. And
yeah.
and that's, yeah, it just kind of is an enhancement of what you already are. And that's going back to the globe again, because I remember when I first was interested, or it was first brought to me, I was looking at everybody and I'm like,
Hmm.
no one looks like me. Everyone's white and they all got pointy noses and they're all skinny. And
Correct.
I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not doing this pageant. I'm going to lose. But, but it's the truth. But the vision though that Dr. Tracy, had is is that beauty is all encompassing, and there's not just one standard. There's not just one vision of what that looks like, right? And so I just think now it's like, okay, I can come there with my poofy hair and my big lips and whatever else, and I'll be posing with a woman that's different, from Armenia, and we look at each other, we're both like, wow, you're beautiful. And I think that's something that has always shocked me, is when I go to these events for Mrs. Globe and I see these tall, beautiful, skinny women who come up to me and they're like, you are so beautiful. And I'm like,
Yes,
me?
trust me. Yes.
But it's about
Like,
view, right?
yes. You
It's all
know,
about perception.
I think times are also changing, and with all due respect, but I'm sure that body acceptance and those stereotypical thinkings, they are all coming to an end, and people
Yeah. Yeah.
nowadays are much more open and receptive about like even you come to see the clothing lines or any kind of brands, they have come up with this plus size segment, and that's how the entire market, because trust me, the bigger segment of women, I feel they are voluptuous, they are fully bloomed women once they are, mother of kids. It's very hard to maintain that kind of body statistics. I'm not here promoting unhealthy living. Like, people ask me, are you promoting
Right.
kind of unhealthy living? I'm like, no, trust me, I don't have any health issues, but I'm the way I am. Like, even if I drink an extra glass of water, might be it shows up. So it's not it's my body constitution, but that's the way I'm made.
Right.
So it doesn't mean that I'm unhealthy. I've seen so many skinny and fit people, but they do have a lot of health
A lot
ailments.
of health
So
issues.
it's, yeah, see, like that intentional weight loss is something that I'm against. If you're losing weight with natural medium and mode, all the, good on you, and it works for you, but it's not the case with everybody else.
Right.
So, yes, so just typecasting people on the basis of their looks and their size and their age is something that bothers me, and I've personally suffered a lot through it. So that is what I stand for. And I'm so glad that, people like you, you've been a role model for me and many. And, even I love to see that people get impacted and get influenced positively. And the fact that, you're able to instigate people in a good way.
Right.
It, because there are ladies who come up to me, who message me and like, I was a bit apprehensive about getting that dress, but when I saw that dress on you, that gave me confidence. Oh,
Yeah.
if she can pull it off, so will, you know so will it will be on me too. So that kind of a feeling, that kind of confidence when they emit, and when they come to me and they like, they accept it and they admit, and then they say that we look upon to you for your dressing patterns, your dressing style. So that gives me, like, my confidence goes to a different
I love it.
zone, totally a different level, and then everything is worthwhile. Everything, whatever you have, the days you have waited, whatever efforts that you have put into it, everything. Because many of them ask me, now what is the outcome? What do you get out of the pageants and all these things? But I'm like, I'm not here to gauge the outcome or the monetary income or whatever. It is just not for that. This is a
Right.
place for me to vent out. It's a platform for me to
Yes.
help other women in need. It
Yes.
is to build the confidence of the women who are fighting with themselves, who
Right.
feel that their body is no more in favor of fashion or glam. So I'm here to inspire them, and nothing beyond that. My agenda or my motive is not to be a Hollywood heroine, or to become a that is not the thing. I'm here with the perspective of helping others from whatever possible ways that I can. And the fact that Mrs. Globe is being associated and so proactively involved with women who are in need and who are struggling mentally, physically,
Right.
that is something that has always enticed me to be associated and connected, stay connected with this banner. So,
I love
did
it.
I deviate from the topic? I don't know. I just got
No,
emotional.
it's okay. I removed it. So I was like, I don't need people to know what we are supposed to be talking about. Whatever you want to talk about. That's kind of the beauty of when people, some of the delegates haven't signed on to do an interview. So if there's less of you, then you get to talk more. So hey, that works out for me. Well, the last question I have for you is, what's your plan? I mean, I think we kind of probably heard a little bit, but like, should you bring home the world title of Mrs. Curvey Globe to Australia? Like, what's your game plan?
Well, like, as I think I've mentioned a number of times before as well, but pageants often get a bad reputation for being shallow and appearance oriented. But so many more factors are contributing, and elements. There are so many other elements that are added to to someone to win the title. So, whether I win or not, Mrs. Globe is an amazing platform to bring social issues and other causes that are very close to my heart. So,
Mm,
irrespective of whatever it is, I will always stay connected and associated with this platform, because this gives me immense power to put across my ideas. It kind of helps me transcend my beliefs.
yes.
Yeah, it kind of helps me transcend my beliefs, while honoring my unique self, the unique way I am, and also kind of overcoming the fear of, confrontation. I have that fear in me. So I just take this platform, irrespective of if I win or not. I think for me to be alongside so many superstars like y'all itself is a big deal. And
Yes, yeah.
yes, so I already, in my views, I am a sort of winner, and that's the way I want to look at it. And once I win or I don't win, I'm here to promote body positivity. So Mrs. Globe and being a finalist, this sash gives me that power to be the role model. And
Yeah.
yes, and to change many typical views that people have about body and fashion. And see, everything comes to one point, I believe, is confidence. So if I'm associated with Mrs. Globe, that gives me immense confidence, and I think confidence is the best attire to wear. You wear it with
Yeah.
elegance and you rock it with pride. So that's all for me when it comes to Mrs. Globe. Winning and losing is a part of the show, and I take it that way. But I'll give my 10%, and let's see what each day holds for me. I'm pretty excited.
I love it. Well, thank you. I think those are great parting words, that confidence is the best outfit that we can wear, and that no matter, what the outcome, and of course, obviously you want to put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
But only one person can be Mrs. Curvey Globe for this year specifically. But I love your attitude, and I just think that you already are a beautiful representative and will continue to be a beautiful representative. So thank you so much for coming on the show tonight and making time. I think it's like, what time is it there now? Like 11 o'clock at night or something?
Here it's perfect. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock.
Oh,
Exactly one.
bless your heart.
One
It
in
is
the
1
afternoon.
in the morning. I thank you so much for coming on. I know some of your queen sisters who are watching have said some words to you. Oh, I love it. Curvey is going to be so bomb this year. I love just the diversity, and just we have, Latina, we have, Indian, we got Australian, we got Black. I mean, it's just
The
so beautiful.
inclusiveness is amazing.
Yes.
uh, the kind of response, whether it be WhatsApp or any kind of group, when I see delegates from throughout the world being so actively involved in it. Yeah, and so intermingling, so friendly, that you really kind of have a comfort factor, because you'll be leaving your home, coming to a different country. I will be almost traveling for 15, 16 hours from here to there, and then but still, all these kind of backups that you get, the kind of positivity that all the queens emit throughout, in the
Yeah.
WhatsApp, in the social media, you feel like meeting them. You feel like
I know.
we all will have a jolly good time.
Okay, I wanted you to say that too. You said jolly good. That's hilarious. Okay, I love it. All right, Preetha, if you would hang tight in the virtual green room, I would love to chat with you a little bit more off air. But thank you so much for being here tonight, and can't wait. I know everyone can't wait to meet you in just a couple of weeks. All right, you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Tasha Frazier Show with the countdown to the Mrs. Globe crown. Also, I have 2 more weeks of interviews. Okay, so 2 more weeks of interviews. It's going to be amazing. I think one of them I'll be doing from Palm Springs. I'm not sure. I don't know. But anyway, it's going to be very exciting. So if you haven't already tapped in, please go to, there it is, mrsglobe.com at this point to get your tickets or to find out where things are going to be showing on social media so that you can see all these amazing, beautiful queens in just a couple of weeks. Stay tuned for a quick little commercial that I'll be showing you. And then again, please tune in, same place, same time, different queens. All right, everybody. So we'll see you next Tuesday at 7 o'clock California Pacific Standard Times for new queens. The same questions, though, in the same place. Thank you for tuning in. As you guys always know, I always say this, that it is never too late to choose you, change your path, and walk in your purpose. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.